our school syllabus. Our syllabus from primary school all the way to university is old, it is archaic, it is outdated, and does not sufficiently equip our children to compete in a modern world. We have to modify our syllabus to ensure that our children get education. Not just that they get education, they get the right sort of education. And then we will work between the federal government and the state to ensure that our educational...
Your time is up. Thank you, sir.
Power to the people.
Labour Party, I would like to ask you, there is a lot of, I can't remember the exact statistics, but the out-of-school children in Nigeria, 20 million?
22 million.
So we have over 22 million out-of-school children, and majority of them are girls. How do you intend to bridge the gender inequality gap as far as education is concerned, especially in northern Nigeria? Because your candidate is very much particular about the land mass in Niger State and other parts of the northern Nigeria in terms of consumption to production. But before you can actually engage in consumption to production, you've got to educate the people and the girl child more in particular. So how do you think you're going to do that?
Thank you. Like I said earlier, education is the life wire of any society. And any society that has developed through the ages have had to focus on education. Peter Obi is particular about the girl child education for several reasons. One, when you educate a girl to the point of secondary education, the propensity for her to have children before the age of 16 is, if not eliminated, is very reduced. Northern Nigeria has suffered. Northern Nigeria has suffered, poor education and increased infant mortality and maternal mortality because of the lack of education for the girl child. Girls who get educated, one, have a reduced capacity to have multiple children. They would rather have a few children they can take care of. So what's the plan? There are no colleges of education specifically for girls. The few secondary schools in northern Nigeria, specifically for girls, have had to close shop because of the insecurities in the northeast, in the northwest, and even in north central, where we're having, even 2 years after, girls who were adopted from their schools are still in captivity. So there must be a concerted effort to improve girl child education. That snowballs into women empowerment. It's a shame that when we see women being empowered, we're talking about giving them 5,000 naira or giving them wrappers, and we call that women empowerment. How can it be when we have women who are almost 50% of our population, who should contribute at least 50% to our GDP, while empowering them with 5,000 naira wrappers? These are women who should be programmers. These are women who should be engineers. These are women who should be lawyers. That's the plan of Peter Obi, and he did it as governor. While he was governor, over a third of his commissioners were women. Across his local government councils, women were encouraged to take elective positions, and he ensured that the quota of women in his government was increased from time to time. This man has shown a sustained progress of having women involved in politics, having women involved in the development of society, and that's what he will do as president.
Thank you very much. PDP.
One of the reasons why you have very high incidence of lack of access to girl child education in northern Nigeria is poverty. There is a big correlation between poverty and lack of access to education, particularly for the girl child. Once you bridge that poverty gap and you pull people out of poverty, you will see a situation where more people, more girls are educated. I'd like to quickly chip into this point here. How the girl child suffers particularly from our incidents of insecurity across the country. I would like to chip that in here very quickly. And then chip in Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's commitment to ensuring that even in these areas where girls suffer from insecurity, suffer the consequences of insecurity, that he is willing and constantly available to provide succor to victims, which is the reason why he sponsored up to the university level scholarships for several of the returned and recovered Chibok girls. Now, how do you quickly bridge that gap? You bridge that gap
One house, please. One house.
If you come back to the poverty gap, how do you bridge it? You bridge it by setting up a number of things. One, quotas, to ensure that you bridge that gap by ensuring that
Go on.
this disturbed my train of thought.
Sorry.
Now, you now bridge that gap by ensuring that you provide incentives to families to send their children and their children, particularly their girl children, to school. I'll give one example of one of such incentives that he has in his personal life. In his personal life, he has a microfinance bank. 80% of the loans given by that microfinance bank are given to women, because there's an understanding that if you empower a woman, you empower the entire generation. It's a statistical fact that when you empower a woman, you do more to pull families out of poverty.
Time off.
Thank you very much.
APC.
All right, thank you very much. It's very important that the girl child education is key to national development. And as Raju said specifically in his manifesto, that he will specifically look into the girl child education, giving them a preferential treatment in access to education. Because when they don't have access to education, that is when, of course, you see a young girl, especially in the northern Nigeria, you see a young girl of 10, 15, 10, 15 giving birth. So there will be a special focus, most especially, and he will also work with civil society organizations who are focused on girl child education. He will also work with them to make sure this is adequately achieved. And it is as simple and direct as that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last question on education will be access. How do you ensure access to quality education in Nigeria?
I'd like to take that question very quickly. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, speaking at different fora, constantly points out that while he was growing up, his father didn't intend to ensure that he got an education. However, there was a law at the local government level that said that any parent that did not send their child to school up until a certain age will go to prison. We have that sort of law in the US, in the UK, that says that every child must receive a minimum amount of education. So, we propose set up similar laws at the state and the local government levels. Partner with the states and the local governments to ensure that at their levels there is a minimum requirement of compelled education that every child must receive. But it comes back to the issue of funding. How do you fund it? If you do certain things with your budgetary allocations, for instance, the 7 trillion that the APC has corruptly
Don't forget
committed.
there's a quality education. There's
I'm
a
going
quality
there.
aspect of the education.
I'm going there. If you remove the 7 trillion that the APC corruptly compels us to expend on subsidy every year, you will have money to fund your educational programs, to fund your healthcare programs. And in doing that, you do 2 things. One, you train the trainers so that you have funding to train the trainers, so that we improve the quality of the learning outcomes that exist in our educational systems. And then 2, you have money to build the infrastructure that you require so that our people will go to every school, will go to school at every level. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has committed towards ensuring that within the first 2 years of his tenure, we will build at least 1 secondary school, 1 primary school in every local government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the funding is available to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If I can go next.
Labour, please.
The solution that borders on access to education is an interesting one. There's really no dilemma about it. Access to education is not really the problem. But the fact is that in northern Nigeria especially, the people have a different mindset as touching education. And also that has snowballed into the fact that insecurity has made it impossible for...
Hello, please.
Insecurity has made it impossible for a lot of parents to send their children to school. When girls can freely go to school, acquire education, and are safe in school, more girls will go to school. How would you tell a girl in Niger State that the girls that were kidnapped at the Chibok saga many years ago, many have not been received by their families? How can you prop her to want to go to acquire education in the same region where insecurity has become very resplendent? So it will be impossible to build a secondary school or a primary school in every local government council when insecurity, especially in northern Nigeria, is not tackled. That is the number one thing. Building the school is beyond building the structures of a school. It's building the mind of the person who's going to school. Do the people see a reason why girls should go to school? If we relegate women to the background like we've done in Nigeria for centuries, how can more women be advised to go to school? We must have a template where we can encourage women to go to school by rewarding excellence amongst women, by rewarding education in those women who have gone to school, making them examples to young girls when they can see, when they can have sheroes in government, when they can have sheroes in society, when they can have sheroes in their villages, then they will be more interested in going to school. That's the solution to the girl child education. Thank you.
APC.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. The hallmark of the 20th century is access to education. Why 21st century is quality education, where we are talking about robotics, artificial intelligence, changing how we work, where we work, and skills that are required. Of course, and if we looked at it, and I'll give a very simple practical model, which we use in Lagos State, and I was fortunate to be a volunteer. It is called Ready, Set, Work. Ready, Set, Work was started by administration of Governor Akim Yambode. The essence is to bridge the gap, the skill set, and the quality gap between a Nigerian graduate. You understand? So what we have to do is to involve private practitioners, captains of industries. I know people who flew in from outside Nigeria every Friday evening to get themselves engaged every Saturday. So what do we achieve? We achieved increased in the skill set of an average Lagosian, because it cut across all the tertiary institutions in Lagos State, either federal or state-owned universities. Now, with that increased the quality of education, and with that quality of education, that eventually increased the quality of workforce. So we need to invest, and during those periods, the Lagos State government had to increase what we did, train the trainers. So they had to involve adequate training for teachers and lecturers of Lagos State-owned universities. Now, this same model will be replicated at the national level, because we need to make sure that the graduates produced in Nigeria are world class. Nigerians are smart. Nigerians, they are genius, but we need to make sure that the hallmark of 21st century, access to education, will move away from it into what? Quality education. Though we are still stuck in the 20th century, but we are juggling in between the two. So a balance will make sure we move speedily from access to education to quality education. Thank you.
Right of rebuttal, please.
Good.
One of the problems that Nigerians' educational systems have is that we haven't fixed the faulty foundations that we have at the primary and the secondary levels. And then there's an over-concentration of our resources and our attention at the universities. But the consequence of that is that we often, because we send defectively educated children to universities, we don't have employable graduates. It's one of the consequences of our approach to the educational system. And when the APC representative speaks about the university level without first addressing the primary and the secondary levels, you're just going to have a replication of that problem. We have a problem in our country where 60% of our budgetary allocations are routinely, year on year, deployed towards tertiary education. It will not cause an improvement in our educational system if you have children that are already coming with defective education from the primary and the secondary levels, which is the reason why the People's Democratic Party were proposing that you do a modification and you deploy more of your resources to the primary and the secondary levels to ensure that the children that get to the university levels are not adequately but rightly educated.
Federal government is responsible for tertiary institutions. State government are responsible for that. So you need to understand. Hold on.
The federal government is also responsible.
PDP, hold on. APC.
This thing is because when we're speaking, allow us to talk.
APC, go on.
Except for unity schools, That is where federal government has influence. And don't forget, I made mention about the networking between these things, and I made mention about what? The hallmark of the 20th century and the 21st century, and how we are trying to bridge that skill set gap. Thank you.
When you speak about that, you do not understand that the provisions
You
under...
no longer have a right of reply
Thank you very much.
because I revoked it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, landlord.
We're going into the last question, set of questions, which is on job creation, and we'll round up. On healthcare. How will you ensure that all Nigerians have access to quality healthcare?
Thank you.
APC.
Thank you. Can I go first? Let me go first on this. Thank you, my brother. Okay, the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo started what we call VAMED, criminal enterprise. You know, when you see a lot of things started by PDP government, you know that they were designed to criminalize Nigeria. It was Senator Olori Egbe that had to move the motion at National Assembly to make sure those contractors, they get the job to get back to work, because they were supposed to build primary healthcare center in 774 local governments. That thing is what we call there's a name we used to call all these glorified big project from government officials. So how do we move forward without that? So that being said, NHIS, and I'm going to talk about NHIS and how we will build on it. Do you know presently coppers in Nigeria,
One house.
coppers in Nigeria are enrolled. They are enrolled on NHIS. And of course, if you looked at it, the health system, one of the best health systems we have in Nigeria today is in Lagos State. That's why we have the vice president of the country, while he was sick, he needed surgery, he went to Lagos. This to show that something is working in a particular state, and that this same thing will be replicated. Now, we will now talk about primary healthcare center in all world, not just local government, but in all world in Nigeria.
Excuse you.
Thank you. I'd love to respond.
I'd like to go.
Thank you. How can it be that the APC's spokesman is telling us about health when in 8 years our president still goes to the UK for routine medical attention? This is not to cure sickness. This is not to cure HIV. This is routine medical attention. When we've budgeted billions to the health system, when we have budgeted millions to the Aso Rock Clinic, is it not shameful that even the candidate he speaks for goes to London still with all the hospitals in Lagos, since he recreated Lagos, but he forgot that one day he will fall sick or he will need health care, that he goes to the UK? What do we intend to do? We have to stop public office holders from seeking medical attention outside of Nigeria. That is what Obi is for. Peter Obi hardly falls ill, and records have shown that should he fall ill, he relies on medical attention in Nigeria. It is shameful that we have, the PDP candidates, who many describe as the Olympic presidential candidate, who comes in every 4 years to tell us what he has to do about healthcare, still goes to Dubai to get medical attention. They cannot give what they don't have. They have not proven.
Hello, please. Why, please?
They have not proven why they served in office that they care about the health system in Nigeria. Where have they been all the while Nigerians have died from cholera? Where have they been when infant mortality has been about the highest in Africa? Where have they been? Maternal mortality in Nigeria is the highest in the world. Out of every 1,000 women that deliver in Nigeria, 971 die trying to give birth. Where have they been? PDAPC has no solution to the healthcare system in Nigeria, and they cannot pretend to care about Nigerians as it touches healthcare. Thank you.
Time up.
To quickly address
APC.
To quickly respond on this, to quickly answer your question.
Please go ahead.
How do you improve access to health care? The problems that our healthcare system have are primarily at the primary healthcare level. While we suffer consequences at the secondary and the tertiary level, primarily our healthcare failures are at the primary healthcare level. Our failures are also in lack of affordable access to. Can we please? Our failures are also primarily lack of affordability, which is the reason why, coming into power in 1999, the PDP very speedily implemented a national health insurance scheme to make sure that people are able to have access to affordable primary, secondary, and tertiary health care. What our commitment is to improve the net and involve more people and make sure that more people are able to have access to primary health care. No, but my time couldn't have finished. The interruptions have been many. My time couldn't have finished.
You used half of your time. You used half of your time to do rebuttal.
No, I didn't do any
just
rebuttal.
No, you
I
did.
didn't do any rebuttal. Can I finish, please? Can I finish?
30
and
seconds.
Then, okay, and then it comes to the second question. Our presidential candidate has always said, if the healthcare, the nature of the healthcare is available in Nigeria, I will avail myself of that healthcare that is available in Nigeria. We're saying very simply, to be able to improve we want to improve the infrastructure that is available in Nigeria so that Nigerian people can trust that infrastructure and then patronize that infrastructure, and then by virtue of the healthcare insurance systems that are in place are able to afford that healthcare. Thank you very much.
So that's the last question for the debate. We are going back to the audience to have one question each again. And this time around, I would like a lady to speak from each of the parties. So, Madam, you've been talking since. It's your turn now. You are welcome.
PDP.
Power to the people.
Women are great. When I say women are great, you say no controversy. Women are great. I've heard from all of you, three speakers, and I'm glad that we youth can, stand together and, talk this much and not have, differences. Although we're having our own discussions here, but it's to make the thing not dull. I want to ask, my question goes to the Labour Party. We talked about having seats in the national, let's take the National Assembly, for example. We have the lower house, we have 300 and something, and we have 109 senatorial seats. If I may ask, I think King said something about that, and they quickly, diced it down that doesn't matter, that the people's vote is in their hearts. But I feel like if structure is not really the buildings, but if I have 109 senatorial seats and I can only get 30 seats, I think that's not enough. I'm not saying all of them will win, but at least if I'm from Kwande, I'm from Benue, if I'm from Kwande Oshongo constituency and you print an A4 form and give me to contest in the Labour Party, and I go there, some people, not because they know a Peter Obi, but because a Yembe is contesting in the Labour Party, they would vote him. So I think it's important. But to dice it out like, oh, it's not important, then you don't, field candidates that contest in these seats in the national, because these are the people who represent the grassroots. So if you don't field candidates, it means you're just looking at the presidential, but this is what builds the presidential elections. You have to have representatives in all these places. I think we shouldn't dice that out so that when the election is, finally done, it's finally done and the votes are being announced, you won't say you were played out, because we need to be interested in the grassroots. We must field candidates at the grassroots to come to the National Assembly and State Assembly respectively. Thank you.
Let me respond real quick to the question. I honestly think that the APC and the PDP should be excited that the Labour Party does not have candidates to fill these seats. Why are they having it as a problem? It bothers me that what should be an advantage to them, they are crying more than us. The thing is this: leadership is about providing the requirements to the people. Let's assume we have only one Labour Party senator when Peter Obi becomes president. Let's assume that we have only one member of the House of Reps when Peter becomes president. What is the purpose of government? What's the purpose of leadership? Is it not to bring development to the people? So if Peter is saying, let us stop consuming products that we import, which senator is going to say, no, let us continue to import products we consume? It's just common sense. As governor of Anambra State, he had no member of his party in the State Assembly, but he achieved remarkably well. He improved education, he improved healthcare, he improved infrastructure, he fought insecurity. The point is this, and the question is this: will he have the capacity to lead the nation and provide the needed requirements for the people? Yes. Every member of the National Assembly, has one purpose: to bring development to your people. Every member of the Senate has one purpose: to bring development to your people. So if the president, for example, is advising the National Assembly to promote a bill that will help the people of his constituency, why should he be against it? It's just common sense. I find it really appalling why anyone should be bothered about the representation of the Labour Party in the National Assembly.
Right of rebuttal, please. Right of rebuttal, please. And it's very important that we should rebut these sorts of acts of misinformation. I will quickly spell out the numbers. There are 109 senatorial districts in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There are only 80 Labour Party candidates. There are 369 Federal House of Representatives constituencies across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There are only 210. There are only 210 Labour Party candidates. What does this mean? To understand what it means, you have to look at Mr. Peter Obi's experience in Anambra. All the laudable things that you say that Peter Obi did while he was governor of Anambra State were immediately undone when he left office, simply because he did not put in place an institutional framework supported by law that could sustain those things. By his own admission, his immediate successor in office was able to fritter the benefits that he brought to the people because there was no legislative institutional framework. Now, can I finish? I am only going by
You're right.
Can I finish? So I have a few more seconds then. What this is telling us is that we're here now, and a person without the ability to give us institutional reforms is promising us institutional reforms.
Thank you very much.
Let me answer in 30 seconds.
No, if you say that I don't have the 30 seconds, if you say I cannot, if you say I cannot, no.
Hello.
If I was cut short,
I have to answer your question.
You can bring it in your closing
What
address.
legislation
Hello.
is required?
This is why he said it's PDP APC.
Let me explain.
Hold on.
Wait, which one is PDP APC? It is PDP and PDP pro-life.
Let me answer the
So
question.
that's why I leave them to enjoy.
Let me answer the question. In 30 seconds. What legislation is
In your closing remarks, because I also have a question.
You will have 5 minutes.
Tony.
Labour, is that APC or Labour?
Hello.
Labour, okay. After him, Labour.
So I'll try as much as I can just to be very quick. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Moderator, the man asking question is from
Hello.
PDP.
Hello.
Oh no, okay.
Someone
No,
from
no,
PDP
hold
has
on.
asked question.
Please hold on. I'm an individual just like yourself, because you start in position.
No, you are not the
does mean I
moderator,
can't ask a
please.
question.
Sorry.
Please, can I ask I've been raising my hand a long time. A very long time. I've been here a very long time. Okay, so please, I'll be very quick, please.
30 seconds.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I will try as much as I can to do this.
Go on, please.
Hold
quickly.
on.
Can I explain something? Please hold on. Can I explain something? Hold on. Can I explain something? He had his hands up since. However, hold on,
OJ.
Can we?
OJ. We can't. So if we are going to, you are PDP. You're wearing an Atiku youth. Hold on. Listen, in the spirit of fairness and equity,
Let's go this way.
we will give other parties one more slot because you're taking 2 slots from PDP.
Okay.
So if we agree on that, aye?
Aye.
All right, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so to every other party that is here, I fully apologize.
Your question, please.
All right, so I'll go straight to it. I'm going to speak as an ordinary Nigerian. Most people know the party that I support. So I will remove this and I'll be an ordinary Nigerian right now. All right, first of all, because of the party that is organizing this, when we make too much of noise, it looks like this party has organized that to affect the other parties that are here. So we have to be organized. That is 1. 2, for the party that is ruling in Nigeria today, you cannot compare with other kind of things that you do with other countries because you are a ruling party. For other parties that are also coming into power, they can't compare because they are coming into power with a hope of something they want to do. So you cannot use that. I'm speaking from experience as also a political strategist. Now, 3, my question is to you, sir. When you came up with your first question, you spoke about the things that your candidate, Bola Asiwaju Tinubu, wants to do. Why is it that it is promising Nigerians, as a regular Nigerian right now, why is he promising us the things that he wants to do that this government has failed to do? That's my question to you.
Thank you very much.
It's very straight and simple.
Yield the mic to, do you want to take that now?
Yeah, let me just take it straight away. It's so simple. We are all different and unique in our own little ways. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President Muhammadu Buhari has done what he can do, his own best. So when Asiwaju is telling you, I have done this before, I can do this, he's telling you about his own capacity. They are 2 different individuals. So he's taking it to a new and greater level. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. Labour
Right
Party.
of rebuttal, please.
Labour Party.
Right of rebuttal, please.
Labour Party. Oh, sorry. Oh, is that Labour? Was that Labour? Labour. It will come to you. Relax. Labour Party. OJ, Labour Party.
We have 2 slots. We have 2 slots. 1 man, 1 woman.
Okay. Question. Ask your own question. Is that Labour?
Yes, please.
Calm down. He will get it. I've seen him. Relax.
To APC, I'm just curious as to how someone who cannot use a common mic be able to understand AI.
Repeat your question.
No.
Thank you. Moderator, can I?
That's question number 1.
Repeat your question.
I said, I'm wondering how someone who cannot use a common mic be able to understand artificial intelligence.
Your second question.
Okay, second question. Labour Party, forward ever, backward never. Please, I have 2 questions. I have 1 question for the APC.
Sorry, quick one, moderator. Is that a question or just a sentence?
It's a question.
AI.
Hold
Not
on,
to you.
hold on.
Your
Let me
principal.
get you. It's a question.
Okay.
Can I just take it so that I don't forget?
No,
Thank
you won't.
The 2 questions are coming to you.
How do you know the 2 questions are coming to me?
Okay, ask. Answer.
Okay.
Now,
So-
thank you. Hold on. Let me just answer. I don't. There is no direct.
Relax. You ask your second question. Let him answer.
There is no direct relationship between being able to use mic and understanding AI. And I'm going to tell you, I've had over 15 years in the corporate world. Till today, I cannot a tie. And I have over 45 ties in my house. So does that mean I'm not intelligent? No. So there is no link between either you're saying, and even me here, hold on. Even me standing here, I've had issue with my mic over 5 times here. And when I left consulting in management, I went consulting in ICT. And I have a lot of startups I have worked with that have scaled even to today. So that doesn't mean I don't understand AI. So please, let us be constructive. And please, let me just put it this way. We are youth. Hold on. We are youth. And we should be able to talk intelligently. We shouldn't just bring up things that doesn't match up. When we are engaging in constructive system, don't forget we said for the love of the country. So please, things that doesn't, you shouldn't just throw some subtle jabs because you want to talk. Thank you.
Labour, your second question.
Labour Party, Papa, Mama, Pikin. Labour Party, forward ever, backward never. My question, please. First, to the candidate of the APC. The achievements. I live in Lagos. The fantastic achievement that happened in Lagos happened after 2007. Will it not be unfair to Akinwumi Ambode, to former governor of Lagos, Babatunde Raji Fashola, and of course to Babajide Sanwo-Olu to ascribe their achievements to your principal? That's, hold it. To the...
Go on.
Cross. Please.
Go on.
Now, the next question, please. I am directing.
Go on. You have 30 seconds.
I am directing my question. Asiwaju people, Mona, wait. I am directing my question to the spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. The achievement you have spoken to of Atiku Abubakar were his 8 years under Obasanjo as vice president. Obasanjo, who was his boss, has gone to tell us in public, not in private, that Atiku Abubakar is unfit to hold the office of president. If your boss passes such a conclusive recommendation, is it a recommendation? I'm looking for the right word. Conclusive statement, testimony on you, is it still reasonable to use the achievement of your 8 years in office under that boss to campaign? Direct question. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Quick one, before you drop the mic. Before I answer your question, where in Lagos do you stay? Thank you. All right, let me answer your question in 30 seconds.
Is that APC?
No, that's Labour. Let me answer his question in 30 seconds.
Go on.
See, the Lagos master plan. Listen, and please listen carefully. The Lagos master plan, Al Benito, let me use some of my brother's language, professional language, was developed in year 2001 by Tinubu's administration, which successive government followed to today. And that was when he created the Ministry of Urban and Regional Planning, the first in the history of Nigeria. Don't say what you don't know. Tinubu is the architect of modern Lagos, and I will tell you again.
In order to respond to the question that my brother from the Labour Party has asked, without a fair understanding of all the facts that are available to the public, I would like to tell you that at several fora in the years 2018 and 2019, former President Olusegun Obasanjo repeatedly said, "You're a man of character, you are the best person who is there to lead this country, you are the most experienced person who there is to lead this country, you are the person with the best economic understanding to lead this country, you are the person with the best international network and international relations to lead this country." My point being that whatever politically motivated conclusions that President Olusegun Obasanjo reached in the past, he came around full circle and he gave an endorsement that was glowing, that was commendable, that was fantastic by any level of your possible understanding, which is the reason why I will tell you that if your current boss recommends you in the manner that Olusegun Obasanjo recommended Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, a future boss will not hesitate to employ you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A quick rebuttal, please. My brother Onoja. So, Is there another full circle in 2023? Because the same Obasanjo is not endorsing Atiku.
I would like to answer that question very briefly.
Let me
In
add
20
this so you can answer this
No,
together.
but you asked me-
So you can answer
okay,
them
so
together.
yeah, I'll ask you.
The only reason why Obasanjo endorsed Atiku in 2019 was because of Peter Obi. Peter Obi was the reason why Obasanjo endorsed Atiku, because he had told us that he could not, that was the worst decision he said he made. These are recent statements that came to him. So now that Peter Obi is not there to help him meander through the interfaces of this difficult political journey, he's standing alone. And clearly he has no pathway to victory.
I'd like to respond to both immediately. Please, may I please?
Respond, please.
May I please? I would like to respond to both immediately. Hold on now, Yembe, stop.
PDP pro-light.
Can you guys please allow me respond to the questions? And so the response that I will give to you is that if Peter Obi was the reason why President Obasanjo endorsed former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the current candidate of the People's Democratic Party, he would have said so. He would have said, because of Peter Obi, I endorse you. He didn't say so. He spoke about Atiku's character. He spoke about Atiku's competence. He spoke about Atiku's personality. He spoke about Atiku's capacity. Everything that he gave,
Quick one,
everything
moderator.
that he did, he gave directly to President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
One house,
So what
one
you are
house,
doing here-
one house,
One house.
One house.
Let me finish.
one
me finish.
house,
Let me
one
finish.
house.
Let me finish. Let me finish. So what you are doing here, what you attempted to do here and failed woefully to do, is what my APC brother tried to do by appropriating a slogan. You are trying to appropriate a commendation that was freely given to your candidate.
Let me explain.
Stop
Let me
doing that.
Quick one.
respond briefly.
Quick one.
Labour Party, Labour Party.
Quick one,
APC,
quick one.
APC,
Would you allow me respond?
Quick
Can I
one.
respond?
APC.
In 10 seconds.
APC.
In 10
APC. We
seconds.
don't have time.
He talks
APC.
about
APC. APC. One house. 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 APC. APC.
I think I would like to take it first. One house, Labour Party, Labour Party.
No, listen.
Please.
Listen. We have equity, right? You had a right of rebuttal. He had a right of rebuttal, and he responded. So you can't go back. If
Moderator,
not,
can I say
no, we
something
have been
briefly
doing
about the
it.
crowd?
No,
moderator,
hold your thoughts.
moderator,
Hold
hold
your
on.
thoughts
I have to
and
address
5
this.
minutes.
I have to address
No,
this.
hold your-
It is unfair.
No, it is.
Moderator, hold on.
No, I've been
Next time, when this association would invite us for a debate, we will not show up because you have shown clear bias.
No, how?
You have been unable to control your crowd.
No,
You have been unable
No,
to allow
no,
spare
Osipo.
time to
That's
everybody.
Labour Party.
You have been unable
That's Labour
to show
Party.
leadership.
That is
Sincerely
Labour. That
speaking,
is Labour
The
Party.
bias we had when we
No,
came,
that is-
coming to a PDP ground, you have
That's Labour
amplified
Party
it.
making noise,
No,
not PDP.
you have been unfair, and I'm just pointing out that.
See, I have
Next time it won't come.
I haven't left my seat. Hello? I have not left my seat since. And I only left my seat and stood up to control the crowd. It has never happened since. So all the time,
Common sense should show that since we are visitors to your ground, you should accord us some respect.
but that's what we do.
That's common sense.
And that's why I'm
You
off.
don't have
That's
to,
why I'm
it's
my
not
feet.
rocket science.
So, APC, ask your question. APC, ask your questions.
Hello. One house, please. APC!
Progress!
APC!
Progress!
Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Like, I jot down like 5 questions here, but due to time factor, I think I will ask one question. So my question is this. Due to security holds the key to the progress of Nigeria, and without those in police, we can get...
One house, please. One house. APC, you are interrupting your fellow APC. Why?
That's not APC. Those are the Labour Party guys. Those who don't have facts.
APC, go on.
Okay, my question is that security holds the key to the progress of Nigeria, and without this in place, we can't get anything right. So my question is about Deborah's case. So making reference to the gruesome killing of Deborah, who was murdered, and all the aspiring candidates gave their sympathy. But Atiku tweeted and deleted the tweet because it reflected his take on this. How can we trust him with our girl child development?
Labour Party. Yes. I mean PDP.
Was the question directed at me?
Yes.
Okay.
Tinubu did not condemn it, oh.
I would like to put it on record.
Okay.
I would like to put certain things on record.
No. Labour Party.
I would like to put certain things on record. I would like to
go on, please. Go on.
You asked the question. Can I answer you? We would like to put certain things on record. Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the candidate of the NNPP, did not tweet about it. Alhaji Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the candidate of the APC, did not tweet about it. Let me finish. Mr. Peter Obi.
Don't say that he did.
Your time
Peter
is going, so
let me
please
finish.
Please let's.
Peter responded. Peter responded.
Mr. Peter Obi
Peter responded.
did not tweet about it.
No, he did.
Mr. Peter Obi condemned it in a television interview on Arise Television in the same manner that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party condemned it in a live TV interview on Channels Television. The question, can I finish?
Hold on,
The question has always been, what was his interview? What was his, if the person who has condemned several other murders, he condemned the murder of Bridget Agbahime in Kubwa, condemned the murder of people across the country in Kano. The man gave a very simple reason. It did not go through my normal communications approval process. It's a very simple thing. If the man says, I condemn it, and he has said on national television, on international television, I condemn it, but this statement did not meet my communications procedures, then it is simply what it is.
I have a rebuttal, please.
Rebut.
The truth is this. The truth is this. When Atiku deleted that tweet, he deleted his ambition to be president. When he deleted that tweet, he deleted his ambition to be president. This is what it meant. It simply meant that he wasn't going to be fair to everybody. On what premise was a tweet deleted? He simply condemned the killing of a Christian girl who was killed in the north. Any leader who qualifies as a unifier would not have done what he did. Nigerians generally, in the north and in the south, felt appalled that he deleted that tweet. And there has been no reasonable reason he has given. His spokesmen have been asked severally, why did you delete the tweet? Yes, he condemned it later, but that deletion of the tweet was a removal of his presidency.
Thank you very much.
No, you don't have.
It's quite unfortunate that we have to politicize the death of an innocent young girl this much. I believe Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will have just apologized to the family of the girl and to every girl child in Nigeria, and will move on. Yoruba people will say, Akinwibe Kakube. So, and I think at this point, it's quite unfortunate. Please let us add humanity to whatever we are doing. Thank you very much.
My question, my name is Akin Rawasande Joshua, and actually I would have loved to ask a general question, but because you people have been directing questions to particular people, I will direct my question to Labour Party man. If you want to tell us about what you have done, it should have been on your antecedents and what you have done, what we have seen. On education, you were talking, and I could remember for 8 years of Peter Obi as governor of Anambra State, you didn't employ one single teacher, and you can't tell me you don't have a single shortage of teacher in your state. One. Number two, as a governor, you are talking that he said he doesn't go abroad to receive health, but I can remember that for 8 months in your state, doctors were on strike. for 8 months. Now you are coming to become a president of our nation. And the third one, sir. You see, I don't want us to, like I said, I don't want to attack, I don't want to ask a personal question.
Your question, please, straight to the point.
I've asked already.
Then.
My first question is, why would you
I got
employ
the
a teacher?
question.
You wanted to. You're telling me
I
about
got the
education.
question, sir. I got it.
God bless you.
Can I answer?
Yes,
Thank you.
answer that just
It is on record that Peter Obi moved education in his state from number 26 to number 1. Anybody, till today, Anambra State is still number 1 in GC and NECO. That was a foundation laid by Peter Obi. And my friend is asking that he didn't employ any teacher. That is not true. But let us assume it is true. If he did not employ any teacher, and yet in 4 years, he moved education in his state from 26 to number 1, he must be a genius to have used the available teachers, to have trained them, to have equipped the schools, to move it to where he did. Then talking about healthcare, it is true that Peter Obi doesn't go abroad for medical attention. Doctors were on strike for 8 months in his state when he became governor. What was the resultant effect? When Peter Obi was leaving as governor, he had built hospitals. He got the Bill Gates Prize for Health. Which governor in Nigeria got the Bill Gates Prize for Health after 8 years?
I would like
Nobody
to respond.
but Peter Obi.
I'd like to respond.
Thank you.
I'd like to respond. I'd like to respond very quickly. Two things. One, with respect to your claims about successes in education. Mr. Peter Obi's successor in office, Mr. Willie Obiano, who Mr. Peter Obi helped get into office, gave the public the information that there were 483 miracle centers that were used to manipulate the outcome of WAEC and NECO results in Anambra State. And then he went ahead to announce the demolition of those miracle centers. Up until this day, Mr. Peter Obi has never deemed it fit to give an answer to the Nigerian people about the establishment, proliferation, and use of those miracle centers in Anambra State.
Thank you.
That is number one. Hold on. That is number one. And that is number one. Number two, you asked the question, which other governor ever received the Bill Gates Prize for Health in Nigeria? The answer is that before Mr. Peter Obi received the Bill Gates Prize for Health, Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, the former governor of Kwara State, received the Bill Gates Prize for Health.
That is not true.
Thank you very much.
That is so not true. In response to his question, let me respond.
No. This has been the. You need to understand before you say we are cheating.
I can't respond to him.
But you can't, because he that is a rebuttal.
No, he talked about miracle centers.
Listen to me, sir. We have been doing this when a question is asked and there is a rebuttal. You know, when you answer the question and someone rebuts you, the other candidate of the APC, if he refuses to say something, right, then you can have that. But
he has laid a foundation on the wrong premise.
The same procedure was followed with the Deborah when I denied him the right of reply. And I said to him that he needs to wait and sum that up in his closing remarks before you will say we are being biased here. APC, nothing to say. At this point,
hold on. You know this guest of Asiwaju?
At this point, we are giving you 3 minutes each for your closing remarks, and then we can wrap up the entire session. So your closing remarks, 3 minutes each. The things you've been trying to say, you can say them, and there is no right of rebuttal in this instance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nigerians, there's a chance for us in 2023 to rewrite the wrongs in our society. INEC has told us that there are 70 million registered voters below 50. That means we have the capacity to change our government. We have the capacity to build our lives. We have the capacity to rebuild our society. It is okay for us to be members of different political parties. There's nothing wrong with that. But at this juncture, we must have a unanimity of purpose. Let us pull in one direction. Let us pull in one direction like they did in Zambia. that beautiful country of Hastings Kamuzubanda. The young people pulled in one direction and effected a change. Let us pull in one direction, like they did in Botswana, that beautiful country of Sasere Sekama. The young people pulled in one direction for a change. Let's pull in one direction, like they did in Angola, that beautiful country of Agostino Neto. The young people pulled in one direction. Let's pull in one direction, like they did in Kenya, that beautiful country of Jomo Kenyatta. The young people pulled in one direction. It is our turn as Nigerians. This beautiful country of Ahmadu Bello, this beautiful country of Obafemi Awolowo, this beautiful country of Nnamdi Azikiwe, let's pull in one direction. We have the energy, they have the time, they have the research, but we have the time. It's our future. They have no stake in the future of Nigeria. Both men are in the departure lounges of their lives. Both men are in the evening of their lives. They don't have a stake in the future of Nigeria, but Peter has a stake. Whether you support the APC or the PDP is fine, but this is about you. This is about your children. This is about their future. Let's pull in one direction and make Nigeria greater. Thank you.
I would like to begin my closing remarks. By referring to the words of Mr. Peter Obi granted during an interview with Arise Television, where he said that nations are not built by the age of anybody's body, but by the power of the person's ideas. Nigeria has long suffered the very same crisis for several decades, even though we have worse variations of that crisis. Our country is poor because our country is not designed to produce. Of the three candidates represented here, only one candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, can point to a production line in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Of the three, one of the candidates who has stayed here and who speaks about a new direction is an importer, a net importer of products, and is a very perpetrator of the sort of ills that he speaks about in our society. We can also speak about our country not being structured properly to produce for all and to work for all our people. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, since 1994, has been the loudest advocate for restructuring our country. Our country is unsafe from north to south, from east to west, because our security architecture is old and cannot provide to our people, which is the reason why Alhaji Atiku Abubakar says that we need to restructure our security system and to bring state policing, community policing, and neighborhood policing. Our economy doesn't work for all of us simply because it is not structured it is not purposed to function. That is the reason why my candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, says that we need to implement a system of a private sector-led, market-driven economy. I have the confidence to tell everybody here, keep away the noise. The noise that we bring to you as politicians, stay away from that noise. Stay away from our voices. Listen to the cold, hard facts. Pay attention to the numbers. The numbers do not lie. Because I have that confidence to tell you that. Because the numbers will lead you to the inescapable conclusion that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is the best candidate to lead Nigeria in a
One house, please.
era. Thank you very much.
One house, please. One house. APC, your closing remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last few hours we have talked extensively on issues of national interest, and we have a renewed hope in that Nigeria will be great again. But I want to speak to you, people of my constituency, which amount to the largest voting bloc. It's about the love of the country. Sentiment apart, it's about who can get the job done from day one. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been known to keep promises. Check his records. And I can tell you today that his ideas, visions, will be turned to project performs, will be turned to actualization when you and I go out on the 25th of February to vote for a renewed hope. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, I know the thought I have towards you, are thought of good and not of evil.
One
To
house,
give you
one
hope.
house.
To give you hope and future. I have not come to you with excellence of speech, but I have come to tell you Nigeria needs you to be great. And together with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and with the renewed hope mandate, we can make Nigeria great together. Thank you. God bless Nigeria. God bless Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
At this point, hello, one house, please. At this point, I would like us to give a round of applause to all our debaters because they've done excellently in terms of representing their candidates. Please give a round of applause for them. It's not easy. You've done too well, and we really appreciate you. We would like to therefore hand over the microphone to TY to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Let's settle down. It's been a very beautiful night. And I want to thank all the panelists who came out today and the audience as well. Nigeria is our collective project, so let's put our hands together and make sure that the election is peaceful as much as it can be, and that we turn up to vote for our respective candidates. Please, as you go out there, share your ideas respectfully and just give love to as many people as you can. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.
All right, please don't go yet. We have drinks, we have refreshments for the speakers and for our guests from APC and Labour. Please hug somebody, exchange numbers, say hello to somebody in another party. I love this, yes. Hug somebody, shake somebody, exchange numbers, yes. That's the whole idea. For love of country, hug somebody.
Èmi ló kàn.
Baba will do well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.